The series Sevdiğim Sensin made us, the viewers, follow it with great admiration. As we watch this series, we become acquainted with the love story of a village girl and a handsome city boy. It is especially interesting to watch how this love will develop if this city boy is already engaged and yet enters into marriage with this village girl. So, before continuing the series from where we left off, I would like to remind you, dear viewers, if you have not watched the previous episodes, visit my channel and watch the earlier videos. If you want to be among the first to learn about further developments, continue following my channel. So, let's begin. In the previous video, a group of fugitives broke into Dijle's house to kidnap her. At that time, Erkan was just leaving Dijle's house. As he was leaving, Erkan notices this group of evil people and fights them to prevent them from taking Dijle. As a result, Dijle's yard turns into a field of armed battle. One of the bandits wounds Erkan, and Erkan himself is also injured. Dijle drags Erkan inside the hut. Outside, the shooting still continues, and the bullets are directed toward the hut. At one point, Dijle goes to check on her sick mother and sees that she is already lying in blood and dead. Because when they were shooting toward the hut from outside, several bullets hit Dijle's mother. Seeing her mother lying dead and covered in blood, Dijle's world seems to collapse. She begins to cry loudly, looking at her mother. And outside, the bullets still continue to strike inside the hut. Despite his weakness, Erkan, fearing that Dijle might also be wounded, gathers his last strength, pulls her down, and shelters her. Dijle still cannot come to terms with the loss of her mother and continues to cry. Erkan explains to her that her mother has already died and that this cannot be changed, and that now Dijle must try to survive. After Erkan's words, Dijle begins to regain her composure. Then Erkan shows his wounds and says that he is afraid that with such injuries he will not be able to protect her. Erkan tells Dijle that this group of people will not leave until they take her, so he will stay here to hold them back, and Dijle must escape. But Dijle tells Erkan that she cannot leave him like this, that she has already lost her mother and does not want another life to be sacrificed because of her. Dijle tells Erkan that she will surrender to these people, and only then can Erkan survive, after which she stands up and goes outside. Erkan cannot accept that Dijle is surrendering to save him. He tries to stop her and wants to crawl after her, but because of the severity of his wounds he loses consciousness and falls to the ground. Seeing Dijle, the men ask her where the soldier is. Dijle tells them that Erkan has already died. At first the men do not believe her, but Dijle somehow convinces them that Erkan is dead. Then they take her to abandoned huts on the other side of the mountain. Meanwhile, Erkan sees his friend in a dream, who tells him that for the sake of his clear conscience he must live and fulfill his duty by saving Dijle. Erkan regains consciousness, manages to take his radio, and informs the military. The military provide him with first aid. When Erkan says that he is still worried about Dijle, his captain reassures him, saying that he has already sent soldiers to rescue her. Then the military take Erkan to a military hospital. Meanwhile, on the other side of the mountain, one of the men leaves to bring medicine for the wounded man. The man who remains begins to harass Dijle. However, Dijle wounds him with the knife she always carries with her and breaks free from his hands, running outside. At that moment, the military manage to rescue Dijle and also take her to the military hospital. At the hospital, Erkan regains consciousness and immediately asks about Dijle first. His friend Kadir tells him that Dijle is completely healthy and that she was also brought to the same hospital. Hearing this, Erkan stands up to see her with his own eyes and goes to her room. When Erkan comes to Dijle's ward and asks about her condition, he is met by her two brothers, who do not allow him to see her. Erkan realizes that Dijle's older brother is a very hot-tempered, rude, and cruel man who places his honor above everything. Ferman tells Erkan that Dijle is their sister and asks what interest he could possibly have in her, after which he begins to threaten Erkan. After learning that it was Erkan who saved Dijle, Ferman nevertheless lets him go and tells him to leave peacefully and forget about Dijle, after which he slams the door in his face. When Erkan, surprised, tells his friend Kadir that Dijle's brother is a cruel and rude man, Ferman's voice is heard from inside, shouting at Dijle and threatening her. Erkan wants to go inside and protect her, but his friend Kadir stops him and tells him that he must not interfere in their affairs, otherwise it will cause even greater trouble for Dijle. Erkan is forced to retreat. Dijle's younger brother seems softer and more compassionate than the older one. Do you know who plays the role of Dijle's younger brother Jeevan? This role is played by Baris Baktas, an actor known to us for the role of Baron in the series of Bloody Flowers. Jeevan shows more compassion toward Dijle and intervenes when Furman beats her, defending her and saying that she has no connection with Erkan. Furman steps back a little and tells Jeevan that Dijle has disgraced their honor, that she was abducted by strange men, and that this will soon spread throughout the whole village, and if they do not prevent it, their pride will be trampled because of Dijle. Jeevan is forced to agree and nods. Then a doctor enters and says that they can take Dijle home, as her condition is good. When Furman and Jeevan take Dijle from the hospital, Erkan watches them from the window. Seeing how roughly the brothers treat Dijle, his heart aches. Watching them, Erkan recalls how much Dijle fears her brothers and begins to worry, thinking that they might harm her, and follows them.